Welcome to the Black Educated Tea Podcast. I'm your host, Makeda Marie, and today's topic is corporate America from the black woman's perspective. I mean, that's the only perspective I can give. But as always, before we get into the topic at hand, let's get into the tea before we get into the tea. Now, I'm not drinking tea today. I'm actually drinking a San Antonio red wine because this is really a topic. I was like, I got to get my mind right for this topic. And so I was like, the tea just not going to do it today. I need something a little bit stronger, a little bit more kick to it. So I am just drinking a sweet red wine. My go-to is usually Moscato. I can do a Chardonnay here and there, and also red wine. So I'm just drinking a San Antonio red wine today. Really sweet, really flavorful, really good. So that's what I'm drinking today. So, corporate America from the black woman's perspective. This is a topic that I have, been in so many different conversations about, especially being a black woman and being in corporate America. But, I can only give my point of view on it, my opinion. And for me, and I'm still in corporate America. I've been in corporate America for years now, and it does have its ups and downs. And it's really unfortunate. And I say that to say that I think I've always had that entrepreneurship spirit and personality. So I was going to be an entrepreneur no matter what. But being in corporate America actually pushed me even harder to really want to work for myself and really want to be an entrepreneur. And I say that because with me having, several different degrees and having a vast amount of experience in several different fields, and I would still find myself applying for jobs that I know I was overqualified for, and then I would get that email, oh, thank you for your time, or thank you for your interest, or thank you for your consideration, but we went with other qualified candidates, and I would just get pissed. And not to toot my own horn, excuse me, and not to say that there's not other people that's more qualified than me, because I know there are very much more other people that are more qualified than me, but to continuously get those emails, and I've even been in situations where I've gotten those emails when I worked at a certain company, and I would meet the person that they hired, and after I have a conversation with this person, it will just baffle me even more because I'm like, I have more experience and more education than this person. So how did they clearly get this job over me? And after years and years of letdowns and turn downs for stuff that I shouldn't have been applying for in the first place. So let's even touch on that. Because there was a point that I was applying for jobs that I necessarily didn't even want, or that I knew I was overqualified for, but I was either so ready to get out of the situation that I was in, or I was ready to, generate more income, whatever the case may have been. So I was clearly applying for these jobs that were just not suitable for me in the first place. And then when I didn't get it, I would get in my feelings. I can laugh at it now, but at the time it was not funny, because I'm like, I know that job should have been mine because I have the experience, I have the education for it. So why didn't I get it? And looking back, I thank God that I didn't get it. So I'm very appreciative now that I didn't get certain positions, but it's hurtful at the moment. It is very hurtful when you know that I can do this in my sleep. I'm overqualified for it. I would rather, someone actually just reach out to me personally and be like, Makeda, you applied for this job, and I have to say, you're just really overqualified for it. But we have another position coming up that would be a perfect match for you. I want you to apply for that instead. And I've had those, instances at times. But just to get that email saying we went with other qualified candidates, and I'm like, who the hell more qualified than me for this job? I work for this company. I'm somewhat doing this position now. Who's more qualified than me? So I would just get angry and I would get frustrated, and I would be like, man, why am I continuously getting looked over for things that I can do in my sleep? And then God had a conversation with me, and he was like, Makeda, stop applying for these things you don't want, first of all. And I was like, okay, I hear you on that. I can totally understand that. And then we had another conversation, and it was revealed to me that that's not the path I want you to go. You know, I want you to get what you can out of corporate America, make it work for you, but that is not where I want you to go in life. I want you to make it beneficial for you at this moment, but years to come, I have something else planned for you. And I was like, okay, I can take that too. And I took it, and I truly believe that now. Because there was nothing more frustrating and nothing more heartbreaking to apply for something and they bring someone else in and wanted me to train them when clearly I should have been the one that got the position. And it didn't happen once, it didn't happen twice, it didn't happen 3 times. It was so many times that it was happening that it became normal to me. And at no point should that become normal. When they say, oh, if you go to school, you know, you can get these opportunities. If you do these volunteer opportunities, or if you do these internships, or if you just find different ways to get the experience, oh, it's going to pay off. And then I was like, at what point is it going to pay off for me? And I sat down one day in a position I had some years back. And it was one of those eye-opening moments for me, but then it discouraged me as well, because I had my master's degree at the time, and there was a lot of other black women that worked around me as well that had their master degrees, and you know, they were in certain positions I felt were very beneath them, very much beneath them, and me as well. And I would see, you know, others that would get positions and with less education and less experience. And I at some point, I even became angry. I became very angry because I'm like, as black women, we are getting the education, we are getting the experience, but when it comes to positions and jobs, it's like we were still getting looked over. We still didn't have the opportunities. We still didn't have a seat at the table. And it was really becoming a point that I was even getting angry. And when I felt the anger, I had to really just, you know, take a moment and take a step back and be like, you know what? There's bigger and better things. Corporate does not define me at all. And I had to realize that, because at some point I even thought that, you know, having a certain position in corporate was going to make me feel better or make people look at me differently, or it was going to be life-changing for me. And I'm like, I can change my own life. I can make opportunities for myself. I don't need a certain position or a certain title. I can create my own title with my own company, you know. And so once I started to say those things to myself and they really started to stick in, I use corporate America as I do now, you know, to benefit me in several ways, but I don't let it influence me, or I don't let it dictate how my life should be or where I should be in life. Because as a black woman, it can be very discouraging when you have worked your butt off to get the experience and to get the education, and you apply for a mediocre job that you know is beneath you, and you still don't get it. You don't even get an interview for it, and you like, what is going on here? It's like, you know that I'm even overqualified for the job, so why not even just at least give me an interview? Maybe that would make me feel a little bit better, and you know, the fact that I'm continuously getting looked over. And so when I reached that boiling point, cause like I said, I think I always just had that spirit to be an entrepreneur anyways. But when my biggest downfall was when I was working with the organization, and I really had a combination of 2 positions. So they combined 2 positions together, and I was doing both positions. And so they decided to separate the 2 positions, and they listed one, and I applied for it. Now, mind you, I was doing both of them. So I applied for the other position because it did pay more, and it's in there, but I was already doing it in the first place. So, you know, I applied for the position, I interviewed for it, and I didn't get it. I didn't get it. And for me, that was life-changing, because I'm like, in no way, first off, should I have to have applied for a position that I was already doing. But I was like, okay, I get it. You know, sometimes they still have to put it out there, give other people opportunity as well. But then when I didn't get it, I was like, how could I not get a position that I'm already doing? That was a slap in the face like 3 times. Top, top, top. There was a couple slaps in the face. It was a couple slaps in the face, but it was the biggest and best thing that happened to me when it comes to the professional side of my life. Because at that point, I knew it was time for a change. Because I was actually doing something I really didn't want to do in the first place. And then I knew there was bigger and better things for me. And as soon as that happened and I started looking for other opportunities, I found another opportunity doing something I really wanted to do. And my income even doubled. So that worked out in my benefit, because if I would have gotten another position, I probably would have hung around a little bit longer and, continue to do something I really just didn't want to do. But God, the universe, saw otherwise and was like, nope, stop, put a halt to that. I don't no longer want her to do that because she's not happy doing it anyways. So there was a pause on that, and within a couple of months, I got another position doing something I really wanted to do. Like I said, my income even doubled. So that worked out in my benefit. So this is to say that, when you get those emails and you get those door slams with the no's, create your own opportunities. Because you do not want to, because you can get 1,000 no's and you can get that one yes that'll be life changing. But who wants to continue to get all those no's? And we found other qualified candidates, and because it kills your spirit. I swear it does. It kills your spirit. And you even start to question yourself, like, well, am I good enough? Can I really do this job? And then you go back and look at your resume, you're like, yeah, I can do this job. I did it. So stop questioning yourself if you're capable to do it, because yes, you can do it, but maybe that's just not the path you should be going. So I just, make corporate work for you. And if you're at that point where you're tired of corporate, then find opportunities for yourself. And like, I can only speak on this from a perspective of a black woman and what I have experienced. And what I have experienced is that after continuous no's and we went with other qualified candidates and doors not being open, after being told that, hey, if you get your bachelor's, these doors are open. If you get your master's, these doors will open. And you get your doctorate, these doors will open. And, if you go through this program, or if you try to get experience this way and, find this person as a mentor. After doing everything by the book, and still feeling like that I had to scrape and, to get just a decent opportunity or a job, I was like, oh no, this is not working for me. And I knew why it wasn't working, because it wasn't meant to work. It just wasn't meant to work. Because if I was really supposed to just continue to be in corporate for the rest of my life, I think things would have really fell into place as they should have. But the universe and God saw different for me and knew that, you can still be in corporate and make it work for you, but I want you to venture out to doing other things that you really do love to do, and doing my passion. And my passion is, doing my consulting business, doing the podcast, and still doing mentoring, tutoring for kids. So, I have several different passions. But it always ends with really helping people. That's really my passion. And so corporate just may not be the place that's feasible for me to expand my passions the way I wanted to. So it will still be beneficial in some ways, but it just may not complete me as a whole. And I'm okay with that now. Because as a black woman, I'm tired of trying to prove myself. I am tired of trying to show that with all this education, all this experience, that I can do a job. I'm tired at this point. So the best thing for me to do, which I have done, is started creating opportunities for myself and, finding different ways that I can immerse myself and grow as an individual that may not necessarily involve corporate. And I want you all to do the same as black women. Time and time again, we are proving that we are getting the education, we're getting the experience, and we're doing what we can to continue to grow. So don't let those no's and the door closes, stop you or halt you in anything that you want to do in life. And the entrepreneur, road is not for everybody. So if corporate is strictly for you, then go with the companies, go with the organizations, and surround yourself with the people that really see the good in you and really, see you as a beneficial factor for their company and their organization, and then those that just do not. Because there are really some good companies out here that will see the benefits in you, and you can really be an asset to them. So get with those companies and those organizations, and don't sell yourself short at all. If you get in a position just because of the time, you're like, hey, I need to, pay the bills, then do it. But don't stay stuck in it. Know your worth and know what you bring to the table for any company, any individual, or whatever it is. So I just wanted to really touch on that and share that, corporate America from the Black woman's perspective. I really just wanted to share that with you all. But as always, I would love to hear your comments and your thoughts and how you have navigated, being a Black woman in corporate America and your perspective on it, and how it has, benefited you, or maybe it's not benefited you, and how you have continued to grow in corporate America, or have you found other opportunities outside of corporate America. So I would really just love for you to share your thoughts, your comments, and, your journey with corporate America as I have shared mine. So please, just share. And as always, this is the Black Educated Tea Podcast.